in January. And I was just like, man, I really need something short, succinct, and just tell everybody in Adelaide that I'm a bad bitch and I'm coming for Kellyanne and we're going to beat each other up, because that's a new audience. I needed to educate them somehow of who I am as a character, and I just wanted to be that someone to hate, pretty much.
Yeah. Like that real evil heel.
Yeah, because Kellyanne, love her to death, and she's loved in Rampage. So just wanted to be that complete opposite to her, at least. But getting into the promo, and wow, that was PTSD, because that was a long night. I'm very fortunate that my work has offered me the space to film that promo. They had a green screen, a big space to just have all your stuff and gear in. Ben Anderson and his crew just had all the time and patience for me and just to film this promo. And basically, it took more time to film the cup dropping into the water with the red than it was to actually do the speaking part. So it took 15 minutes or less to do the speaking part. It took hours to drop a cup in the water. And I say that because it was a lot of trial and error. We just didn't like how the ink flowed in one, or it just didn't go like slow enough or fast enough with the drop. Multiple trips to the bathroom, carrying this aquarium tank of water, pouring it out, refilling it, bringing it back in the studio, dropping the cup again, going, that's not right, doing the whole process again multiple times. And it got to a point where it got to midnight, and this is from filming from, I would say, 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error, a lot of lighting adjustments. It's just for 3 minutes or less, you know. So you got to respect people in the filming industry and just how much they do just for 3 minutes.
That's the thing. Like, not many people know how much time goes into the back end of that. Like, a 3-minute clip took X amount of hours for you to be able to pull off. But how much creativeness did you have involved in putting all that together? Were you sort of like the one mapping everything out, or did they say, okay, this is what we're thinking? What are your ideas here?
Usually I come with a core idea, and like I give them ideas, like maybe even storyboards, a script that I write, and just the general feeling of how I want to convey myself. And Ben Anderson and his team, they're amazing because they have degrees in this the film industry, so they know how to bring your ideas to life. They'll go, oh, I saw this in this reference, maybe we can turn that into this in your promo. So a lot of film and movie references, a lot of shots that we look at. It's a long, lengthy process. I'm very I guess OCD when it comes to promos. I need to have, like, I know the angles, I know, like, I want like specific lighting or just anything like that. Other people might be different. Maybe they'll be like, hey, I have no idea what to do. What are your ideas? You know, that's someone else, you know, and they'll be the right guys to provide those ideas. But with me, especially with this promo, it was definitely a core idea and a mixture of like everyone just putting it in. So, yeah.
Well, the most important thing of the promo, the words that you said, and, you know, was that something that you had thought up in your mind what you're going to say, or was that like cameras rolling and you just started shooting on that? Like, not shooting as in the shoot, but like, did you just start off the cuff of your head?
Unfortunately, I don't have I feel like I'm not that talented in just speaking a promo. I need to sit down, write it down, and think of everything, every line, how to convey it. So it was definitely myself and Ben Anderson just thinking of like, hey, I like this line, how can we work around that line? I definitely wanted, and that's the team, to be a very like not just a sassy like throwaway line, but like, and that's the team, has to mean something. And telling like the story, telling like the audience like, hey, I'm going to do this to Kellyanne and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's the team, you know, just being very vindictive and very like forceful with my usual punchline, but in a way that I never usually use it in. So yeah, I'm trying to evolve the character but still be the same character at the same time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that's the wise way of really sort of evolving a character, is just doing those subtle little nuances to it every once in a while to sort of spice it up a little bit. But we actually have the question coming up that I was actually planning on asking. Thank you, Kyle, for already jumping on it. But he said, how did you come up with "that's the tea"? And that, funnily enough, was one of my questions I wanted to ask. So please, why don't you tell us?
Thanks, Kyle, for that question. And that's the tea. It's a quote that's very popular, I guess. It's very, very sassy, very it's sort of like Bible, like what I'm saying is Bible, and it's a cultural thing. People use it all the time, especially at the time when I was building this character. I just wanted that sass, and that was a very sassy line. And plus, I like tea. If you ever come to my house, my mum and I, oh my gosh, tea fanatics. We cannot get enough of tea. There's a whole kitchen full of tea. So we have boxes of tea, so we'll cover you. But basically, yeah, I just want to put myself, like I said, put myself into the character as much as I can, but also be an alternate version of myself, I guess. And that's the tea, sort of like when I saw it and just saying it, it felt right because it was me, but it was also relevant to what was happening in the world and what was I guess what everyone was saying and what everyone could recognize, I guess. So yeah.
I quite liked it. I liked the catchphrase, and like I'm really going to show my age again because I never heard of that reference. So like I said, I'm old, so I'm not going to hold anything against it. But that's the tea. And we were talking about promos though. Like, how long did it? Because in your promos you come across very confident, very like just on point with it. How long did it take you to really sort of get to that level, or have you always been a very confident person when sort of, speaking in front of people?
Oh, a bit of both. Because like sometimes I'm not the most confident. I guess most of the time I'm very scared of things in wrestling. And I guess Kingsley is sort of a girl that I aspire to be. Always very confident and just very on the point. And you know what? I do come across like sometimes as, I know what I'm talking about and, but sometimes I have my days where I'm just like, who am I? What am I doing? Yeah, it's a bit of both, Piers.
But I think that's what makes you human as well. Because even like I'm sure the top stars in the business have those days where they're just like, well, I don't really feel like The Rock today. Like, you know what I mean? Like it can happen with everybody. But one of the matches I did see of yours that you were involved in was a match, I think it was 2018, where Tessa Blanchard was actually wrestling, and you were ringside for that match. And I wanted to ask you about that. How was it like to sort of work in a match with Tessa Blanchard? Because you were involved in the beginning of the match and the tear apart and all that sort of stuff. So how did
cool.
She's all right.
She's all right, man. Like, she's cool. No, she was great to work with.